Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Service and Support Lightning Talk. My name is Darlene, and I'll be emceeing this session. In past lives, refined support and test manager Maria and Spartez senior support engineer Pawel were both math teachers. But in this one, they're customer-centric Atlassian solution partners and Star Trek fans who have joined forces to present iRobot, iHuman, How to Balance Automation and Human Interaction in ITSM. Live long and prosper, and join me in welcoming Maria and Pawel to the stage.
So, just to be on the safe side, I'm Maria and this is Pawel, so you don't get us confused. So, wrong one, sorry. Meet Bond, Anna Bond. While she may not be a secret agent, she's a service desk agent working in IT service desk at a company. And she likes her job. She comes in at 9 and leaves at 5. She likes challenges like recovering a hard drive. Here, yes. Recovering a hard drive or managing the system so that people have access to stuff. She has about 50% of her day consists of answering the same questions over and over again. How do I connect the guests to the Wi-Fi? How do I set up the VPN when I'm working from home? The one thing she really doesn't like is doing follow-ups. So much time goes into answering tickets where people don't seem to want an answer. And that she really doesn't like, and it's boring. So, today we're going to look at how we can improve her situation by introducing, perhaps, automation.
But before we even go deeper into the subject and decide if you would like to have a more human approach or automation, we have to understand what we have at our disposal. So to do this, we're going to use SWOT analysis. SWOT is an acronym of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and we're going to analyze both of them, human and automation approach. So, as humans were first, we're going to start with them. Strengths of humans. We are good at building trust between us and our customers, or whomever is engaging with our support. We are excellent at gathering insight. There is a big difference between data and insight being a higher one, and we are good at collecting it. We're also good at creative solutions, at thinking out of the box, at experiencing some problems that are not common. We're excellent at getting context. So whomever is contacting us, we can immediately connect dots in your head. So, okay, I know the guy, I know his company, I know his previous problems. Secondly, we are very good at pivoting based on emotions. So I can make very angry customer into happy customer and then win on this. Our weaknesses, on the other hand, I hated follow-ups. We are very bad at it. It wastes us our potential, it wears us, we're tired because of it. Also, human approach scales linearly. If you are expecting 2 times more tickets, then you will have to have 2 times more people to handle them. I love deadlines, but because I love the sounds when they swoosh over my head, we miss them all the time. And we are limited to working hours. I work from 9 to 5, and that's it. Even if I would like to work as much as I can, I have to sleep from time to time. Opportunities here is learning by doing. The more you work, the better you become. And if you throw a support engineer on some problem, you can expect that he will become better and better along the lines. We are easy to adapt, so whenever facing some problem that is hard to categorize or something unexpected might happen, the human approach is the way to go. We can read between the lines. Automation cannot do that, not yet, of course. We can identify quick wins. I can name multiple scenarios. When somebody contacted me, I immediately knew how to help him out because of the context I had. And we can really be thrown at angry customers because we have here opportunity to turn frown upside down. But there are threats as well. Single person dependency, that's very common. So person leaves company, all the experience he has accumulated goes with him. The knowledge can be shared. The experience, what he has inside, is very hard to share. There is also receiver misinterpretation. You have 2 persons facing one problem, you can have 2 completely different interpretations of the same problem. And like any human interactions, there is a threat of clashing. Okay, so now automations, strengths. Oh, there are multiple of them. First of all, they're very good at management of the tickets, where they're excellent at repetitive tasks. They don't wear out, they do it quick and efficiently. They are very good at do exactly as they were specified. So if you make some specification, you can expect it to be followed to the line. They can mass reach customers. You can specify hundreds of them, and you can immediately reach out to them. And they are consistent. So you don't have to worry that other customers will receive some different answers. The weakness is that it needs to be set up. Also, there is a lack of empathy. We cannot expect empathy from automation, not right now, as I mentioned before. And with everything that you commit, any code, there is a legacy at day one. Do not think that everything that you do is new or fresh. No, you have legacy immediately after committing to it. There is a lack of critical thinking, automation, and there is always a misinterpretation because it cannot read between the lines. Opportunities, well, those are great because if you expect to have, let's say, 10 times more tickets, automation is a thing that can actually help you out. Whenever you're facing a quick scaling opportunity, automation can help you. It's good at gathering data, bulk of them. It can automatically categorize, pre-triage the ticket. It's always available and can free up some of resources or agents to do some other meaningful job. On the other hand, is that you think that automation always works. No, system outages happen. They always happen, and they will happen. It's not the question if, but when. There is a complex configuration, always a threat. You make powerful automation, but if something breaks, you don't know what to do. Okay, about mistakes, they do happen, and if they happen, they don't happen once. They happen 100,000, 10,000s of times. And there are always small errors. I faced this situation not once. When I had some problem, I didn't know what was going on. I was actually debugging the code. But this is a theory. Let's put it in some context.
So if we go back to, am I on? Yes. So if we go back to Anna and her support situation, let's take wrong one. It's the laser all the time. So if we go back to Anna here, let's take an example for the SWOT analysis of one of the situations you're facing when you're running a service desk. So it's the first impressions of your support, because if you're having external customers, they're paying to get your support, and if they're not happy, they're less likely to pay. So let's see where humans and automation stand for this. For a human, you will always have a quality answer because they read the ticket that comes in, and they put it into context, and they can reply with a quality answer for that specific thing. However, if they're not working at that time, resolution. Oh my God. It's very loud. I will try to talk slower or less loud. So you have the resolution. With a human at the front desk, you can actually resolve a ticket the first time that comment comes in, and you're done with it. And the thing is that if you have a support team that's heavily loaded and you have big queues, you might not even take the ticket because there's so much to do, so you're missing it. If we go over to the automation side, they will time the response at the moment you say. Ticket comes in, 3 minutes later, a response goes out. However, it can leave the ticket unresolved because if the automation can't see what they're actually asking for, you're still stuck with an open ticket. Just as Pawel mentioned, the scaling thing here is it only takes one automation to reply to 30,000 tickets or 300,000 tickets, and that's good. And then we have this acronym, which is false sense of security. When you're working with automation, you might see a lot of tickets coming in, and you're closing them, feeling on top of things, but you don't really know how the other person is feeling about the response they gave. So you might be closing tickets and all at the same time pissing off customers. So if you're going to venture into automation, you're somewhere on the scale from not enough automation to too much automation. And if you look at your situation where you're at, I want you to look at the red flags you're seeing so that you can apply the appropriate response. If you're on the not enough automation side, you might be seeing missed customer follow-ups because your support agents can't handle all the load. It's also an insufficient use of resources. Just as with Anna, she has so much skills to do the tasks she has on her table, but she's stuck doing follow-ups, which is not good for her, not good for customers, which leads you to bored support agents, and in worst case, breached SLAs. And you might try to resolve the situation by adding more agents, but it's not really resolving it more than for the moment. On the other hand, if you're on the too much automation side, you might have unsatisfied customers, and as I mentioned before, you might not even know that you have unsatisfied customers. The automation, even though it's very nice when it's up and running, it might be complex and you need to maintain it, and that takes time. My favorite one is lack of feedback. For me, working with external customers, our support channel is one of the best ways we get information on our product and how our customers are working with it. And had we diverted all of those tickets by an automation, it would have been a loss for us because we get so much feedback from them. Then you also have data that is not trustworthy because you think you're responding quickly to tickets, but you're leaving customers unsatisfied, and the statistics doesn't match up with the actual thing.
Whenever approaching automation, whenever approaching automation, regardless if you would like to introduce more or less, we had some feedback about this in Insight. This is what we have from our own experience and what we have from our customers. Few things to try out. First of all, don't try to introduce or track automation just for the sake of it. First of all, identify problem areas. What the problem is, then make the SWOT analysis and decide if you would like to go with one venue or another. Secondly, this is kind of an obvious but often forgotten, start small then scale. In Jira Service Desk, you have a multi-pro projects. Create test project, test it out there, then have a small team, and the small team apply your solution, then scale up backwards, scale up. Secondly, this is my favorite. Why? There's both two things, documenting and testing automated process. I've seen this documenting. First of all, person leaves, nobody knows what the hell's going on with automation. I've seen this more than once in my personal situation as well. And also, believe me or not, you can test. You can test Jira, you can test workflows on separate projects. Do that, because then if there's an outage, you can actually do something about it. Automation many times brings some value, but you don't want to have bored support agents. Don't waste the potential of your team. They are your greatest asset, and then can help you out. And also, this approach, it works, don't touch it, is very common. Yeah, you don't need this. Try to always understand the workflow. Try to understand the process you're having underneath it, and refine it all the time you can. And keep in mind that whenever you're resolving a human error, you're just resolving one problem. He made a mistake, you fix the mistake. Whenever you're dealing with an automation problem, you're fixing 100 mistakes, and you also have to debug automation and fix the automation itself. Secondly, keep in mind that always automation setup and maintenance take a time. If you plan on saving, 1 hour weekly because of automation, keep in mind that setting up the automation will take you 2 hours, and probably along the lines, each week it will waste half of the hour. So this is not always win-win situation. And never ever allow you miss on insight. Always have someone out there to gather the insight. I know it's cool to free up resources, but then you might be one of those people that are missing out on this and are detached from what is happening on the market.
I don't know, yes. So let's go back to Anna and her situation. Both Pawel and I work with support, and we know that it's so much fun when you have those really fun things to dig into and try to figure out what goes on. But as we said, it's kind of boring when you have to do follow-up. So think of Anna's case again. What can we do to help her situation, both for her side and for the customers? First of all, we like her to start using a knowledge base. As I mentioned, 50% of this is made up, but say 50% of the things that she answers, it's always the same answers. She doesn't have to do that. If we get a knowledge base in where they can search things, she would be freed up to do other things. The next thing is that she works 9 to 5, which means that if she's not in the office, the customers won't get an answer. So try and apply not only a search, but also ways to contact support even though it's outside of the office. For instance, using links on a portal to documentation or having that available. That chat over here can also be partly automated, which is kind of the cool thing. So let's say you have a chat. No one's sitting there watching the chat come in, but let's say a bot comes in and says, hey, what request is this in regards to? Having that information, as soon as the service desk agents open the chat, they already have context. So you have a mix, a balance, if you will, between the bot and the human. The human. And finally, the most boring part of her work, all of that follow-up. So why not introduce a workflow that automatically closes tickets that aren't responded to? If we close tickets, and this is right out of Jira, if we close tickets, and if you're not interested in the answer, I'll close it. It will be off NSQ. And if the customer wants a reminder, we can even add an email so that I'm closing your ticket, but you're welcome to come back at any time. And it should be win-win, I would say. For us, though, working with external customers, this might not be the best approach, because with external customers, you might want to really close it off neatly and make sure that it just didn't fall off their to-do list. So it depends.
So how to strike a balance? First of all, keep in mind that there is no silver bullet. There is no one approach that might solve all your problems. Try either, depending on the problem, you might need the different solutions.
Also, remember that your team is your greatest asset. Just as Pawel said initially, whenever we solve a ticket in the support team, we gather knowledge, and then the next time the same thing comes in, we have that. So make sure you utilize the people on your team for the best resources that they can make.
And another thing is that one size does not fit all. Like in our example, we were automatically closing ticket after some period of time. Yet we don't do it. We are product support, so we always try to manually close them. But if it's internal support, it's like, it should be regular to just automatically close the ticket after some period of time. If somebody has some solution, it does not have to work for you, even if the scenario is the same.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you for coming.
If you have any questions, we're always for feedback.